Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable judges and dear audiences, imagine a 16-year-old girl standing before world leaders, armed with no weapons but with facts, data, and unshakable logic. Greta Thunberg didn't just speak with passion, she spoke with critical thinking, and that made all the differences. But the main question is, what makes critical thinking so powerful? Critical thinking isn't just about being the smartest person in the world. It is about asking the right questions. Why should I believe this? Where's the evidence? And why am I not being told? When Greta spoke at the UN, she didn't just express her anger about climate change. She had spent months studying climate science, analyzing government policies, and preparing irrefutable arguments. She transformed teenage frustration into a global movement through systematic thinking. Another example from our homeland. In Indonesia, young volunteers at Mavindo, or short for Masyarakat Anti Fitnah Indonesia, prove the power of critical thinking. When dangerous health hoaxes spread on WhatsApp, these critical thinkers didn't just say, that's fake. They research medical journals, consult doctors, and create evidence-based content that saves lives. They show us that passion plus critical thinking equals a real change. Nevertheless, some of you might be thinking why we need this more than ever? We live in what the experts call the information age. But it feels like we live in the misinformation age because every day fake news, conspiracy theories, and biased information unflood on our social media. Studies show that 59% of young people struggle to identify reliable news sources. But here's the thing. Those who can think critically can become the solution. They become the fact-checkers, the innovators, and the leaders who can cut through the noise and find truth. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have 5 essential toolkits for every young person needs to become a critical thinker. First, question everything. Don't accept into information at face value. Ask who says this, what's their agenda, and what evidence supports this claim. Second, see multiple sides. Every issue has different perspectives. Malala Yousafzai didn't just argue for girls' education emotionally. She studied religious texts, international law, and economic data to build unshakable arguments for every angle. Third, evaluate your sources. Learn the difference between a peer-reviewed study and a random blog post. Understand and how statistics can mislead and how emotion can cloud judgment. Fourth, think before you share. In our digital world, false information spreads faster than truth. Critical thinkers verify first, then share. They become the part of the solution, not the problem. Fifth, embrace uncertainty. It's okay to say I don't know yet or I need more information. This isn't weakness. It is intellectual honesty that leads to better decisions. When you develop critical thinking skills, you don't just change yourself. You change your family, your community, and your world. You become the generation that solves climate change with innovative solutions, bridges cultural divides with understanding, and tackles poverty with evidence-based policy. Dear friends, we are Generation Z, the most connected and educated generation in history. But connection without critical thinking is just noise. Education without critical thinking is just memorization. Global awareness without critical thinking is just belongs to those who can think clearly, question wisely, and act thoughtfully. The future belongs to the critical thinkers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here today, I challenge each of you to become a critical thinking. Question the status quo, analyze the information you receive, and seek truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Because when youth combine passion with critical thinking, we don't just change our minds, we change the world. The problems of tomorrow need the critical thinkers of today, and that is us. I'm Vivace. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.